I know people think I'm joking when I say this, but I truly am never going to get into a relationship ever again because of how sick and twisted these men are these days.
This is how they get me where it hurts. They say, you're like biased against men. And the funny thing is, like, yeah, you're like my biggest natural predator.
I am begging men to listen. As a woman, the majority of the experiences I've had with men are negative.
The way that women are collectively so sick and fed up with men's BS is so beautiful.
This is gonna be the video that takes me out, man. But I will die for my girlies. There's like the most insane phenomenon of female rage happening right now across the internet. I don't know if that says more about my feed than it does anything, but regardless, these videos are viral. The comments are packed full, stuffed with women agreeing, saying they're tired, saying they're exhausted, saying they're over it. They feel trapped by this understanding that they dislike men and they dislike how they treat them and they dislike their place in society against men, but they're also attracted to men, okay? It is literally, it's our cross to bear, bitch. It is bleak. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a bleak. I'm bisexual, so I have a slight escape, but it almost makes it more frustrating because I'm like, if I'm attracted to women and I'm so attracted to women and I can see everything that makes a woman like a viable partner and everything that makes a woman like special and lovable and beautiful and like empathetic. And then I'm also attracted to men, bro. For real though, I know some of my audience is male. I invite you to listen, learn something. The men that I'm friends with in my life are also confused about why women seem so angry towards men as a species. So whether you're a bisexual woman, a bisexual man, a straight woman, a fucking lesbian, because you still have to encounter men on a daily basis, or a straight man who wants to learn a little something, let's talk about female rage. Let's talk about what the hell is going on across the internet and in the dating world in 2023. Happy New Year, by the way. I told you I was gonna be a consistent YouTuber. I'm back. One video a week, baby. Something's gonna change. But the persistent agony of dating in the modern age remains the same. So let's get into it. If you like the style of video or this video in general, hit it with a like. I'm sure there'll be plenty of invisible dislikes, plenty of visible comments from men who do not appreciate my verbiage here. So subscribe if you like the style of video or you've never seen my face before and you're ever interested in seeing my face again. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for joining me on this little video journey. I can't believe I'm uploading 2 videos in 2 weeks. Who is she? Off the bat, I feel like one of the most important prefaces of this conversation, and I'm not gonna give many disclaimers, okay, is that regardless of what group you belong to, if you are generalized, especially in a negative way, our brains are just wired to take offense to it. So I understand that men watching this, or even just maybe women whose experiences are not the same as mine. You're a woman, you're like, my boyfriend isn't like this, or you're like, I'm literally not like this. Let me tell you about the M&M analogy. You have a bowl of M&Ms. There are hundreds and hundreds of M&Ms, and you learn that 13 of those M&Ms are poison. It's only 13. There are hundreds and hundreds of M&Ms. Are you gonna continue to eat those M&Ms? Now, what if eating the M&Ms, it's the only sustenance you have on planet Earth? It's your one option. If you enjoy the happiness that food brings you, you have to eat the M&M. So you every time you eat an M&M, you're like, this one might be poison. Oh, I'm a little afraid. And I kind of resent the fact that I have to eat these M&Ms, but it's literally what everybody keeps telling me life is worth living for. That is life as a straight woman. Can't escape it professionally, personally, socially, politically. We are trapped. And men are trapped too. This literally serves nobody. But if you're a man sitting there being like, what if I made this video? Is it valid to hate women? You do! You literally do! So many men will sit there and be like, I hate women. Agree or disagree, bros. I promise there is representation for women hating everywhere. You don't have to search hard. Taking a note from my girl, Jenny Nicholson, I'm gonna give you guys a numbered list as to why women are fed up. Could probably be much longer, and I imagine I'll hear a couple more reasons in the comments. Number 1, I think recently men feel really dangerous. Half the population doesn't feel comfortable walking around at night alone. We have to be vigilant. We have to have our keys in our hands. We have to have pepper spray. We live in so much fear. It's really upsetting to think about how much of our brain, it's not just at night, at any given time, are surveying the room, looking for signs of threats, for signs of danger, every man you encounter, because you never know who the poison M&Ms are. It's exhausting. The rights to our literal bodies are being violated and taken away. Overwhelming majority of people who enact mass violence being men. I think about someone like Andrew fucking Tater Tot, who has limited days of freedom, bitch, but also has a massive, massive audience of men around the world. Millions of teenage boys and grown adult men. And he has literally been suspected of human trafficking for months. I have had a lot of female friends in my life, and I do not know a single female friend where we've ever talked about, you know, intimate experiences with each other who did not have an experience of SA or like discomfort. I think in previous points in history, maybe you could have convinced yourself pre-internet that the things that were happening to you by way of men were isolated incidences or that you were unlucky. But now that we're all sharing our experiences, now that we've seen the Me Too movement, I realize it's like an epidemic of behavior. It feels like there's just this encroaching sense of no safety. Number 2, algorithms. In the same way that the 2016 election was absolutely shocking because algorithmically we had been so polarized that either side believed there's no way the other side can win because we were only in our own echo chambers. I do think that is the case with men and women right now. Slowly but surely, because the TikTok algorithm is so geared to us, and as it recognizes the content we enjoy, it drip feeds us more and more and more and more extreme versions. Maybe I saw a video where a girl after a breakup was doing a get ready with me to get back on her feet, and now that's turned into just clips of women screaming. And the same thing is happening to men too, right? They might see a video of some guy being like, "Ah, she played me." That resonates with them. They feel male camaraderie, and over time that turns into, yeah, why should women fly planes? That's absurd. We as women feel like we're in danger. Men feel like they're entirely unheard. And I do think a lot of it has to do with what we're seeing on our feeds. Number 3, women have realized that men don't see us as people. Tough pill to swallow, but true. My friend and I last night were talking about how when you have male friends, you can think they're the most innocent, pure, platonic relationship of your life. But when they get the opportunity, they will. You guys know, I don't have to tell you that when you have a male friend, 9 times out of 10, bestie, they will make it known that they will sleep with you. If you give them the opportunity, at some point, somewhere, they'll say something. We unfortunately have legitimate evidence, scientific evidence, that backs this up. Scientific American covered a study. 88 pairs of undergraduate different friendships were brought into a lab. So like a man and a woman. They were separated and the results were pretty much exactly what you'd expect. Far more men expressed attraction in their female friends than vice versa. Interestingly, men were also much more likely to think that their female friends were attracted to them. So like ask, "Do you think Cindy is attracted to you?" Chad might say, "Yeah, she's attracted to me." When Cindy's asked, Cindy's not attracted to Chad. The one thing that did determine whether these men believed that their female friends were attracted to them was their own level of attraction towards their female friends. Essentially, they believed that they were attracted to their friend, it was mutual. If they were not attracted to their friend, it was mutual. More interestingly is when you factor in these people's relationships. Men were equally likely to express romantic attraction and sexual attraction to women in relationships as women outside of relationships. Men reported no differently on if they were going to smash, they were going to smash. Women, on the other hand, statistically, they're already low. Romantic and sexual interest in men dropped dramatically when these men were taken or in relationships. All the results were kept separate, but there still is a degree of self-reporting. And alone, that study would be somewhat bleak for women who want to have friendships with men. Paired together with the Goliath, the beast, the separate video entirely, that is the porn industry. Some women believe porn to be cheating or they see it as unfaithfulness, you know, which it is if you've had a conversation about that. And the response I see almost every single time from men against that argument is, "It's not cheating.
I don't even see her as a person. When I put my phone down after I'm done, I'm disgusted with myself. She grosses me out. She's not a threat. She's not a real person."
It's the Madonna whore complex. I think it was Sigmund Freud. So basically this is the idea that men either see women as whores or Madonnas. Either the saintly figure worthy of their respect, of their love, their protection, or these like debaucherous whores on their phones who aren't real people anyway. This is a psychoanalytic explanation as to why men aren't able to maintain interest in their partner over an extended period of time. Unfortunately, now they see their wife as a human, so they're not able to see them as this object because they've been so socialized to see as this like violent thing. A woman can't be both a sex object and a human being, right? It's rough, it's tough, and it's not all men, but it's a lot of them. There's this popular myth that men think about coochie every 7 seconds, but potentially more disturbingly was, again, a TikTok. And honestly, for this one, I will just let it play.
No, because this girl is 100% right. I'm a lesbian and I have been included in some revolting conversations. So to start it off mild, I know we've almost all heard that every man imagines what it's like to have intercourse with every woman he meets. And so far, with all the men I've talked to, that's been 100% true. I had one man who told me that he had we'll call it a bang list of who he wanted to bang the most to the least. He was our manager, by the way, one of our managers. He was 35, and at the top of his list was a 17-year-old. Like, he was including the minors in it as well. And this isn't to perpetuate, the man-hating lesbian stereotype. It's to let other women know that, like, this girl is not off base at all. These types of men are far more common than they are rare.
Help. Which leads me to number, I think, 4. Dating has never been bleaker, okay? This, whole talking phase, situationship, sound like a freaking grandma, but it is so silly. We went so quickly as a society. Dating the people in your freaking village, you had maybe 5 options to, okay, modern society, maybe you'll meet someone at school or at your job or perhaps by happenstance out and about. Real people that you encountered organically through friends or whatever that you found attractive, that you really wanted to pursue. Maybe once a month even. Once a month, you might see someone who you're like, man, I would like to go out with them. Now you can see 5 hot women a second. You can message as many women as you want. You can talk to as many women and men, this goes both ways, as you want. And I'm sure there are men in the comments who are like, it's so much easier for women to online date. You guys get so many matches. Sure, we are literally all suffering. You too, you're not exempt. So what's the effect of being spoiled with all this choice? We always feel like there's something better out there. Men think about sex twice as much to 10 times as much as women. It really varies study by study, but it's significantly more than women do. Men are, on average, a little under twice as likely to cheat as women. Men and women both have an equal amount of choice, which is all the choice in the freaking world. But one gender is hardwired psychologically to take advantage of it. Again, it varies study by study, but men are far more likely to watch porn and women, we know that's a fact, far more frequently and far more of it than women. And individuals who consume porn alone are 3 times more likely to cheat on their partners than those who don't. We've got a lot of statistics going on here, and they all seem to lead to a reality of accepted unfaithfulness. Men are out here still thinking of their female friends sexually and romantically, even if they're in a relationship. Even if the men themselves are in a relationship, bestie. Men are consuming the porn that dehumanizes women at an insane rate. Apps like Tinder lead an already diabolically wired brain to feel like there's always something better out there, even if in reality you're satisfied. Which leads me to reason number, I think 5, which is that holy shit, why is everybody cheating? There was a TikTok that rocked my world. Part 1 and 2. I think this TikTok's trying to say she's beautiful and he's ugly, whatever. You can have your own opinion on that. What is indisputable is that these women are successful. They're beautiful. They're at the top of their game. They seem to have it all together. And every single one of these women was publicly cheated on. Can a single woman in the comments let me know if you are somebody who has never been cheated on and you don't know anybody who's ever been cheated on? Are you a unicorn? Do you exist? I literally think not. I don't really know many women who haven't been cheated on in some capacity or who haven't discovered some level of unfaithfulness. And of course, right, every woman that a man encounters they think about sleeping with. I heard a quote the other day that was self-resolve and self-control is a finite resource. And that is the truth, babes. Literally no human on earth resists temptation forever. I shouldn't say that. Some people do, people who overcome addiction. But anybody who's in that scenario will tell you that it's not easy, that it's difficult, that it's a daily struggle, that it's something they really had to overcome. Men are doing absolutely no work. I guarantee men are doing absolutely no work to overcome this attraction they feel to literally everything with a pair of tatas. Men, by and large, are not going to therapy to try to untangle this web that they've been raised with, that all of their friends are a part of. It's not the individual. I mean, sometimes it is the individual man's fault. Some of y'all are nasty. But for the most part, it is just the patriarchy. How do you unlearn a persistent attraction to all women cells, and you're constantly being fed an endless feed of beautiful, available women through Tinder, through porn, through social media, and your brain is already hardwired to be thinking about these things constantly throughout the day. How do you unlearn that? I literally don't have an answer for you. I do know that as a woman, I recognize that exists, the knowledge that I'm not often seen as a human by men. I don't know how to grapple with that either, but I do know it leads to this sense of resentment that so many women are currently feeling. When women say we hate men, sometimes it's towards the individual. Y'all do be fucking up. But more often than not, it's just like, God, I hate what I'm trapped in. It feels like there is no escape. It feels like I'm never taken seriously. I don't remember what this quote was from. I think it was a book or something, or like a video about a book. But there's this idea now that in modern heterosexuality, men and women don't even like each other. They're not even taught to like each other.
Straight culture seems to rely on a blind acceptance that women and men did not need to hold the other gender in high esteem as much as they need each other and to learn how to compromise and suppress their disappointment in the service of this need.
I think there are more heterosexual relationships than we would like to admit that are predicated on a man being helpful for logistical things, problem solving, familiarity, financial stability. It gets your family off your back. But when these women sit down and think, what do I actually have in common with my partner? Does he understand me? Does he empathize with me? The answer is no, but because he's helpful. Similarly, there are lots of men who are dating women because they need sexual satisfaction, somebody to do the dishes and take care of the house. They need the domesticity that a woman brings, but they don't actually like that woman. They don't have an interest in her interests. He doesn't care about your friends. He doesn't care about your hobbies. He doesn't take your work seriously. And those aren't the things that bring value to his life. What he needs out of you is something entirely different. So don't be surprised. He doesn't even like you, bestie. How do we escape? What do we do? Literally, what do we do? I'm not even gonna lie to you. I had more things on this list. The fact that we can never trust the good guys. I don't know which of y'all were trusting Strange Kevin on TikTok. Who of you were trusting him, calling him the female gaze? Couldn't have been me. The men who seem so shy and sensitive and understanding, they're the worst of them all. You never know who you can trust. The nicest men, the men who seem to respect women the most and see us as human beings, are literally the most nefarious, sinister, Machiavellian, mustache-twirling villains I have ever encountered in my life. Men are afraid women will laugh at them. Women are afraid men will literally kill them. I am tired. I'm also tired of filming. This is probably a chunky video. I had a lot to say. So if you enjoyed it, hit me with a thumbs up. I can't wait to see how many subscribers I lose from this one. Not many of you guys are men. If you made it to the end of this video, drop the little diss emoji, you know, the little, you can add little sparkles, little heart if you want, but give me a little so that I know who my real ones are. Thank you for being my friend today and always. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.